We share. Oh, take a ride with me.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bekonta. Bekonta, buy, sell, and store crypto. Visit bekonta.com for more info.
Okay, hi, my name is Japheth Johnson and this is my story. Okay, I'm born in Kaduna State for a family of 6. We have 4 boys, 3 boys and a girl. I'm privileged or opportunity to be the first child in the family of the Johnsons. And I believe my story is going to inspire a lot of Nigerians because my experience is built around how Nigeria has been able to shape the kind of person that I am today. And this story is going to be, I would like to take it a little bit far from the grassroots, how I was brought up, so that I know it will help a lot of Nigerians understand, and I know a lot of Nigerians will be able to relate with my story. So, being the first child, already you know a lot of Nigerian parents will put a lot of expectations on you. There will be a lot of trainings, there will be a lot of discipline for you as a first child, and sincerely, I went through those phases, and I'm so grateful for it. I did my primary school, and I think my entire schooling is being done here in Nigeria. I went to His Grace Nursery Primary School. I'm quite a bright child, if I assess myself, because I think I came first in almost from my primary school to my secondary school, which I also became the head boy, so I was quite doing very well academically. I love my parents a lot because they are those kind of people I feel a lot of Nigerian parents need to also learn from, because they want their child to express his given talents. They don't really force you or push ideas into you. So I came from a family where my dad supports what you want to do. Anytime you want to do something, he just tries to guide you, okay, then you see how he can support you. And so it helped give me that kind of freedom to be able to, explore a lot of things even when I was young. I was not really forced to just always study every time. So I think maybe that was why I was able to excel a little bit with ease in my primary school and secondary school, because it's not all about go to school, come back, take lessons, do assignment. That's just your whole cycle. No. So we go to school, we come back, and we have the time to go and play football. I go to the bush with my friends, go and get mangoes, come back, shinge. We used to even go and catch shinge then. So it was a family where we're trained to have freedom of expression, even though my dad is quite still. When he says don't do this, you don't have to do it, if not you are going to receive cane. But I think that helped us a lot, and me as a person. So my secondary school days it was fun. I had cool friends, we go to play football. And my junior secondary school, I could remember there was this Friday we were even fighting with our seniors, and one of the teachers came to me and said, Japheth, I know you're going to be someone great, but you just have to stop some of this stubbornness. And till that day, he stuck on me, because immediately he said that the next time I was given the time prefect in my secondary school. Then that was in SS1, and since then everything changed. I think that was the first time responsibility was like on me. So it was clear like I was now, I just had to change. I took my studies more serious because I'm a prefect now from SS1. So as a timekeeper, it really shows that it's just a couple of months or year you are going to most probably become the senior prefect. So it became like I was the only prefect in SS1 in my set. The others were my seniors. So I began to understand that that leadership of how to work with people, how to organize people. So as a timekeeper, I need to come to school early. I think it even helped me a lot to understand that I need to work with time most of it. So most of the time, even my colleagues now, they already see that promptness in whatsoever I'm trying to do. So I think from there, that sense of leadership was, I think, imbibed in me gradually, and later on I became the senior prefect of the secondary school, and everything was going fine. I learned how to coordinate people, coordinate my classmates, work with other prefects, and also see how everything went. And we graduated, and it was fun. In Nigeria, from your primary school to your secondary school, it's more of, okay, our parents will do everything for you, you enjoy your time. But after then, that's when a lot of things start changing, because you are gradually becoming a man. You can start taking some of your decisions. And immediately I finished my secondary school, my dad actually said, okay, you just try and do something on computer, so it would be nice. And I was like, yes, computer would be cool. I met my cousin, that is Yusuf Zakari, and he just came back from Malaysia then. And I saw what he was doing with his computer. I was like, wow, I'm going to actually study computer science. I love this. I love it. So I went back and told my dad, okay, I want to study computer. I want to do something with computer. Then I had to go to Federal Ministry of Labor and Productivity. I wrote Jamboard and applied for food now, but the admission I got, the course I got, I didn't really like it, so I just said, no, I will not go for that year. So I had to go for a 1-year training in studying satellite dish installation, how to install satellite dish, that's all those Go TV, DHTV. I studied that, and then I studied how to install Visa, CCTV. Then I did computer maintenance for another 6 months. So it opened a lot of understanding to how computers and some of these gadgets work. So I really love and fell in love with it since then. So after then, I could remember there were so many times, I think those times I won't forget, because most of the money my parents would give me, okay, maybe to use for transport, because I was still with my granddad then, from his house to the training center. I could remember I used most of my funds then to get to that screwdrivers, spanners, and I have to trek to the center, and trekking there I think is almost 35 to 40 minutes. So most of the funds I was getting there maybe for lunch and transport. I had to just get my tools, just put my bag on in the morning, and have to trek to the training center. But it was quite challenging, but every time I come back, I usually do the trekking most times to and fro, depending on the amount I get for that month. So I ensured I was prompt to going to classes, attending all the practicals, and at the end of the year, I was able to get my certificate. So within those period of time, we even go outside to do some job. I could remember I even had to install, the first installation I did that is for, I think I was tracking NISAT for one of my friends. That was the first one. He told me, his mom said, okay, can I install satellite? I said, yeah, I can do that. And I went, I bought everything, the dish, the decoder and everything. I came to the house and I started tracking the satellite for, I think, almost 2 hours, and nothing was really working. So it was quite embarrassing, but I just knew that I was going to do that. I had to call my friend, someone that I know. Okay, in fact, that person just learned it on the road. He came and he was like, no, we have to cut this tree down. We removed some branches from a tree and we started tracking, and everything worked. So what I learned from that process was just persistence and trying to be committed to a particular course, because that 1-year training was quite hectic, but I began to understand I could sacrifice the pleasure of a moment to be able to get knowledge. So it was a process I was going through, even though I didn't know it was a process. I was just trying to say, okay, let me just sacrifice it, let me just do this. But I think over time I get to understand that, okay, actually it's a process of becoming, and I was just following a step that was maybe unconscious to me, but I was just doing it because, okay, I felt, okay, I had to do it, I need to impress my parents, I need to get this skill and what have you, but I didn't know it was opening up a new whole perspective about life for me, and that is something I believe a lot of youths now should look into, because the current phase of maybe what you are facing through now or what you are going through now is just preparing for something bigger. You just need to understand that it's not the difficulties you face now, but how can you adapt, how can you learn from the particular difficulty you are facing now. So that 1 year was a whole lot. I did V Connect. I was walking through the street of Kaduna, taking addresses and phone numbers of business because I have to upload for them to verify them and ensure that they're doing the business they said they are doing, and all those stuff. I was paid 20 naira per business when verified. So I did a lot of work to do that business. I did the upload. I had to get a phone to do that. So my granddad was also happy to see me doing all those activities. He's late now, may he rest in peace. But it's growing up with staying with my granddad for some time, I think it helped me understand a little bit of things about life because he gives me advice. He talks to me how I'll be able to walk around some challenges I face. Sometimes we discuss with him concerning those challenges I'm facing. And well, yes, it really helped me. So, as I've said, coming from a family of 4, I could remember my dad, my mom told me a story, I think when I was born, not too long, after a few months or so, I think my dad lost his job. And my dad actually did Okada, he did bus driver. So I think when I knew my dad got job with INEC was when our last one was given birth to. So imagine that span of time. And he had to do all the struggling. We see him do all the struggles to ensure he get for the family. My mom actually is a lab scientist. And she has been the one I know have not left job for 1 week. So she gets job very as easy as possible. So, and I see how they were able to put their heads together. There were a lot of challenges, but they put their heads together to ensure they give us good education to the best of their ability and taking care of the family. So I really appreciate my parents a lot for what they have done. So I think the next phase is how I was able to go to university, because I think that's where the whole ball game started, and I think implementing a lot of what I was able to know, what I needed to learn, people I needed to meet, people I don't need to work out with, and all those advice your parents will give you before going to the university. I think so that started. I applied for FUTMINA, applied for FUTIOLA. I went to FUTIOLA, wrote the exams, pursued ME, and I did that of FUTMINA. And luckily for me, I got FUTMINA, computer science. I think out of 1,000 or 1,000 students, I think we were just 50 that got admission, because it was so, I don't know, it was so difficult to get computer science then. The cutoff mark was high, and the competition to get computer science in the university then was quite difficult. So I was so privileged to get admitted into computer science FUTMINA. And that's where it started, because I could remember one certain time during the registration, we're supposed to ensure we finish our school fees payment. That's to ensure you do every registration before you continue with your 100 level activities. And I think a day to the final registration, I was not able to pay my school fees. And that was one of the lowest points, I think, in my university. It was one of the lowest points. Imagine getting to a dream university where a lot of people also want to go, and just a day to your registration, you have not been able to pay your school fees. I called my mom, she doesn't have money. My dad said he doesn't have money. I was like, wow, so the devil, this is the best way you want to attack me. And I could remember sitting outside DH, yes, in Bosho campus then, and I called my mom, and literally I was like crying. You know, maybe she would not, but tears were dropping, because I just knew that admission is something I'm going to fulfill if I can't get that school fees that day or the next day before, I think, 12 or 1 when they will close the portal. And I think just a few hours, she called me back that she spoke with my auntie, my late auntie Lydia, may her soul rest in peace. And she spoke with her, and Lydia had to rush up to get school fees. She also spoke with Uncle Sam in Kwara, so she spoke with them, and she had to talk with them, and they all had to just wrap up together. And I was like, school fees is not even up to how much, but so this is the time you tell me they don't have money. I just say, okay. I just knew that the devil was just trying to tamper with my admission, and all I did was just thank them then, and I said thank you very much for the assistance, and they paid my school fees. And I could remember going to university then. I think I only had my backpack with me. I had my backpack with, I think, just 2 clothes and take some books. I just carried it to school then. So I was squatting with some seniors then. Then during the registration, I met my wonderful friend Isaac Babalola Koride. He's currently a lieutenant in the Nigerian Army now, and he's just a lovely person, a wonderful guy there. So he said, no, Japheth, let's try and sit together. I was like, Isaac, me, I don't even have money now. I just try to finish and getting my school fees now by God's grace. So I don't even have money for us to say we are going to join. And he said, no problem, just worry, I'll pay for the house. Gradually, you pay. And he was able to pay the money. I stayed with Isaac and Mr. Arume and then fourth, yes, from Jos. We're 4. And he stayed, as I said, I just had only 2 clothes with me then. I had to just adapt, and we started going to lectures and everything. And one thing I just had to observe is, because studying computer science is not a guarantee that, okay, you're going to learn everything about computer. I just knew that there was something I needed to do. And luckily for me, I met some wonderful set of people in school then. One of them is currently our co-founder too, in the company we have built. That is Mr. Samuel Nengolong. So I met him in CACSF. I met Mr. Israel Alebeleye. I met Mr. Tosin. He's also in computer science. So they were my seniors then. And we started working together, and I said, oh, they have interest. They're already even that good with programming. I said, I know these are the right set of people I need to work with. And I could remember I started following them. In fact, to get access to Israel and Tosin, in fact, we had to go to prayer street, do a lot of prayers. Then we finished down. I still follow them to the lab, because they were privileged to also have keys to the lab from staffs then. So because they were very good with programming, so they had access to library and some of the labs, so they gave them keys, like, since they were very good. So they could go at night, open it and do their studies and do some of the work with the staffs there. So after prayer meeting, I have to just start, okay, let me just go with the prayer meeting, so at least I'll have access to them, for them to teach me how to program. And gradually we're doing it, and they were teaching me. I was learning. I had to go sometimes, stay behind. Someone would be teaching me. I wish I could show some of these pictures. It would have been really nice to see. But I kept them. So I started learning, and one thing was, okay, you need to learn now. Where's your laptop? And that's another one again. I was like, I don't have laptop, but at least let me be watching and be writing. I think I have one of my books. I studied, there's this how to design website in 7 days or so, I think, yeah. So I studied the entire book. I wrote all the HTML, CSS code on my own book too. So I'll go online, maybe use my phone, browse, read about HTML, CSS, which tag, how do you put pictures, how do you do that. And I will write them all on my own book to ensure that, okay, I'm just learning. So whenever we go for prayer, we go to the lab. When they are teaching me, they'll tell me, okay, this is tag for this. I'll write it down. I have a complete book for that. And so what happened was, I needed to find a laptop. I can't get their laptop because they're always working on it. So, and there was no provision for laptops then in the school for us to say, okay, we go and practice. So the challenge was, oh, how will I get a laptop? Then luckily my roommate, that is Isaac, got a laptop from his dad. I think they sent him a laptop, and I was like, okay, no problem. I know what I will do now. So what I will do most of my studies during the daytime. Then at night, maybe when sometimes he likes watching movie actually. So when he finished watching his movie, I pick the laptop, open my notepad, and type and try to preview. So that's what I was trying to do then, 100 level first semester. So Isaac, I was using your laptop to learn programming then. that's how passionate I was about learning then. So whenever he finishes watching, sometimes he would just sleep off. I'll pick the laptop, I'll open notepad and do some of the codes. Then coming back for break, as first semester, I spoke with my dad, okay, please, I need a laptop. I think if it's the only thing you can help me and do now, I think it will really help me go a long way. And my dad, I could remember, he gave me 80,000 and he said, okay, this one will go and find your laptop. In fact, he had to make sure he gathered a lot of resources for me, because I have siblings too now that are going to school. So I took the money, went and got my HP. And surprisingly, till that time till now, I think the HP is still working. I even gave it to my younger sister to just use. So that was one asset I held very tight and very dear to me, because everything I had to learn was on that laptop, and I began learning, I began practicing, and we were working with Mr. Nengolon, as I told you. He was my senior then in school, yes, but the same department. So we started working together. I go to his house. He also teaches me, okay, this is what you do, this, that. I was like, okay, yeah. So before we could know my 200 level, I applied for Chevron scholarship, because why I have to put this story, because a lot of Nigerian youth go through this phase, and so many people might just decide they want to give up. But I just want to let you know that, okay, it's easier for me to tell you a lot of things I've achieved, but it's better, I feel, for us to understand that there were processes I went through also, and a lot of us might be able to relate and understand what I'm saying. So I applied for the scholarship, and luckily for me, I think we're two in SICT that got the scholarship. We came to Abuja, were a lot, and I just saw the cure. I was like, this one, by the grace of God, by faith, I'll still get the scholarship. And by faith, I got it. We're two in SICT that got scholarship. I think in foot now we might not be up to 6 or 7, I think, for the Chevron scholarship for that year. I was privileged to get it, and they started paying the scholarship funds. I could remember the first day the money came. In fact, my phone had to just fly out of my hand, because I was so happy. Wow, so they really paid this money. But it really began easing a lot of those money issues in school there from 200 level. And as I said, we continue learning, following these great guys I've mentioned. And over time, we became good. Samuel became director of software, that's for NACOS. And I think one of our first job was to design the website for the department. I think we were paid 30,000 naira. He was paid 30,000 naira for that. I had to do the pushing the business part of talking to them, we can build it, and Sam was the one actually doing the coding then. So we got, I think we got 30,000 naira for the job. We did everything, and so that was my first pay in building a website. I was like, we never knew that someone would even pay us for building a website. And that alone actually made us started studying more about how to build website, how to learn programming. Now we're learning it because this thing can actually give us money and can actually take us place. So we started learning more. We started building simple projects in school, and I could remember before he left for his IT, that is Nengola, before he left for his IT, there was this framework that came up then, that is Laravel, and we started learning Laravel with him. We started building one of our first products, which is Gouda Market. And Gouda Market was just, we're trying to see how can we connect people first with, how can you talk to a customer, you that have a product, and the person you're able to buy, just like trying to make a marketplace. And Sam actually did a lot in it, and we started the process. We tried, the Laravel, since we were learning Laravel, so we got Laravel, we started building everything. And surprisingly, I think in the entire code canon, we had the first opportunity to have uploaded, if we had uploaded, the complete CMS on, I think, a marketplace. But we were so, we want to keep it to ourselves. We did a lot of code in this, so we're not selling this code. But it was an experience. We learned a lot in the process of building, learning how to install. I think one of the challenges we had then was even how to integrate payment gateways. We tried. It was Paga that came to the rescue. We did that. And Mr. Israel was, I think, the first person that even uploaded his, I think he uploaded a book there. If I'm not mistaken, he might be the first person that have purchased too. So we just had one sale for the big platform we had. It was fun because we were able to connect with so many people in the process of building. We learned a lot of skills, and during all those processes, it was nice because we're interacting with students. I was even taking tutorials then in my 200 level. I was taking free tutorials for people that wanted to learn programming. So in the act of teaching, just like the way my mentor always say, when you teach, it's easier for you to learn more through those processes. So I was teaching, just like I've said, a lot of things we were doing there, we were not doing because we knew. We just wanted to do something. But we didn't know we were actually following a process and a pattern that currently now we can say, yes, those were the processes that were good. So I was taking tutorials. I even got sponsorship from Kodu Lab, that's from Lagos. They were sponsoring the training for students there. So I did a lot of trainings for students. And Sam went for his IT. I became the director of software. That's for NACOS. I continued with the development of the software, continued with the tutorials. And luckily for me, 300 level, I met Dr. Steven, yes. And I started building his product, ServiNet. That's a platform where they're actually trying to ensure how they help women in checking cervical cancer. So we had to build the software, and I did everything in 300 level, and he was so excited. He came, he paid me, and we continued the work. I continued with the director of software work. I met a lot of staffs then, and a lot of them were just so happy with what I could do and at least giving back to the department. So I started working with some of the staff, like Mr. Dr. Idris. I think he's one of the person that really encouraged me a lot. I would really appreciate if he watches it, because he really helped me a lot by encouraging me and also pushing me. Then I work with Mr. Professor Abinu, I think. Yes, he's currently the Vice Chancellor of Summit now. He gave us an opportunity to work at Codel. We had access to where students could not actually go because of what we were able to do. So he gave us that good platform. And Mr. Enishi has been instrumental. He has helped us. Mr. Ganiu, Mr. Zubeiru, I think they are all doctors now, Dr. Zubeiru and others. So a lot of staff in SICT were helpful to me, because I get to understand when you put out your effort there are a lot of people that want you to actually put the effort first, then they'll see how they will support you. So I got those privileges because I was always in the forefront to try to see how can I give back, how can I help in a particular challenge. Not really because most of those problems I even help people solve were not money related. They didn't really pay me money, but there was that passion. Okay, if I could learn this thing, let me help some people. I can also help some of my seniors with their projects. So that alone gave me a lot of, I think, connection with a lot of people in the school. In fact, sometimes I would just be working and someone would say, that's Japheth, he's one taking tutorial in SICT, this and that, this and that. So before leaving, I was privileged to work with the conference committee, that is ICTA, in Fort Mina, and I was privileged to build the conference website for the school then. So I built the conference website, did installation of the payment, registration. So I was part of the LOC team there, and it was just an awesome experience to work with the staffs of the university, working with professors, giving them ideas, this is how we should do it, this is how we should not do it, and everybody was really happy to hear my input as a student, and we did everything. Until today, I still manage that platform, which is really awesome. So my university days, I think the first challenges were just majorly from 100 level, 200 level, but I put in a lot of work and dedication, and at the end of the day, I think the remaining 3 years in my university were just more of, I think it was fun for me because I didn't really go broke. Yes, because I had a lot of people to work with. I had a lot of students I was teaching, so I had a lot of people always around me, and it was just awesome. So I and Nengolo started the company then. That is Describe Web Technology. We started the company. So before Sam left for his NYSC, and I wrapped up. I finished everything too, and I left. I think that's for the university. So we finished, and I also joined Samuel in Akwa Ibom because he went to Akwa Ibom to serve. So I also went to Akwa Ibom to join. We started the company just in a very small office, that's as the root hub. Yeah, just a workspace, but we were able to get a corner where we were able to just fix, and we started the company, and we met Mr. Seth. Mr. Seth too also went to serve, so he served with Samuel at the same batch. So we met, and the three of us started the company, and the entire journey was fun. We were new in the course. All we knew was how to build websites and maybe charge people money, and we started, and we had Kachi and some other staff joined us, and it was just a whole new experience because there were mistakes, we learned, we failed in some places, but all those while we were just trying to see how could we make the best out of our skill. I think that's what I should just say. So we had the skill, but we're trying to see how can we make the best out of it, and we started building the Scribe Web Tech to manage companies' websites. So we started building different companies' websites, and we had this idea, okay, let's build a marketplace, we named it Oya. And we started building Oya. We launched Oya in Akwa Ibom. I think that should be 2017. Yes, 2017. I think we launched Oya, and we had a lot of people registered on Oya. We had people submitted their gigs on what they're gonna do, and we said, okay, this is good. Let's keep improving it. We worked on it, and we gradually had a lot of people coming to submit requests. We built a lot of websites then, and we were able to raise funds. We moved to a bigger office, still in Akwa Ibom. We built. Then we started the idea. Okay, we saw the need for solving payment when it has to do with cross-border payment. I think we sat down. We were looking at, okay, I could remember Sam was selling a lot of Ethereum then. And he was like, we can automate this process now. Why not just try to build a platform? We already have the skill. Let's just try and see how can we automate this. I think that's when we started going fully into the blockchain and cryptocurrency, as you say. So we started with Naira Bitcoin. We just built a simple website where you can come and sell and buy your Bitcoin or Ethereum. And it was very simple, but I think it forced us to start looking at the possibility of, okay, we can solve Nigerian problem. People can actually use Bitcoin to make payment to other countries. And we started it. Then we said, okay, why not just go fully and make it big? Let's see if we can register it and even hire someone that will also help us with the program, because we're having a lot of companies. I think as of then, we had close to 40 companies were managing our website. So it was actually hectic, because we built a lot of websites and services for people. So we decided to, okay, let's get a programmer too that work on the idea, that is the blockchain and Bitcoin stuff. And we got Mr. Jethro. He's currently in Lagos now, yes. So we started work on Naira Bitcoin. We just said, okay, let's change the name to BitPesa. And when we changed the name to BitPesa, we just decided, okay, we had to come back to Abuja, and that was as a result of meeting our mentor, that is Mr. Heladi Haruna. He has just been at the forefront to ensure that we are doing well. He ensured that, okay, everything we are doing is checked. So he said, okay, let's come back to Abuja and see how we can build up this product. So we gathered our things and we came back to Abuja. We continued building BitPesa, and in 2018, 2019, BitPesa, we had a lot of users, because that was when a lot of people were coming into crypto. So we were able to do a lot of meetups. We met a lot of communities, and we had a lot of people just using BitPesa, and we had some little challenges, and Jethro had to leave. So no problem. We tried to see how we're going to mitigate some of those issues that were coming up. And we said, okay, since we already have these skills in-house, why not just see how to revamp and make everything work? So we started building the entire platform all over again. That is in-house, and Sam and Waset was also managing operations. So we started building the entire platform, and we built it to a very standard level. And 2019, 2020, I think, yeah, we started the BitPesa fully on our new stack, which the entire team understood. And we started that. We were building, and our mentor loved this particular project, that is the Oya. He was like, he loved marketplace. How can he help Nigerians? Like, we have a lot of youths that have a lot of skill, but how do they even put it out there for buyers? And he said, okay, let's work on Oya. How can we rebrand it, make it better? And we said, okay. I could remember it was night. We had to sit down. We were looking for the best name to give it, and we came with Me to Work. And we started building Me to Work. We built Me to Work, and it was launched in Dubai. I think Me to Work had over 80,000 registrations less than 2 to 3 weeks. So it was one of the products I think we saw inflow of registrations So, but it was an experience because we learned a lot that, okay, there's this business model we can use. You can use this to get people. And it was really an experience, like checking your database, you see 80,000 human beings that have registered. Somewhere, I know double registration, but it was just a whole new experience. We were happy, but we later understood there were some gaps that need to be filled in that particular area of business that had to do with marketplace. And we had to tone it down a little bit to continue with the blockchain development. So we built Bitpesa, built it to Bitpesa Pro, and we fixed a lot of services on a Bitpesa Pro, and came to a point that we had to just do the registration and also go out to see how we can get investors. We're so lucky we got investors and I believe in what we're doing. By the help of Mr. Helady, we got a lot of investors. And one of the key persons that have always been a backbone to what we do is Mr. Lawrence Enebeli. I think meeting him has helped us a lot as a company because it has helped us understand how working with the team matters. He's a team builder, so he taught us a lot that has to do with team building, and I really thank you, Mr. Lawrence, for what you have done. So we were able to build it, and we had to just change the name to Be Counter because there was this conflict of name with a company also in South Africa, which is Bitpesa. So we decided to say, okay, we'll have to change it to Be Counter. And we changed the name, continued building a platform, and being the CTO, I always have to work on, okay, how can we do this? How can we add this technology? Okay, which one should be best? Talk with Sam, we see, okay, how we integrate it. And there's just been a whole lot of experience working with staffs. So it's awesome working on a project that solves real-time solutions. And I just see myself doing more. And over the years, the course of doing this I think I needed to push more on certifications. I need to take my MBA, I need to take some diploma courses. So I've done, I think, 4 to 5 certifications now, yeah. And I'm still on some now. Some have to do with cybersecurity, some has to do with business change management. So I'm a certified business change manager. Taking courses on cybersecurity because building products like this requires you to be up in your game to ensure that you know what you're doing. You'll be able to validate changes. You'll be able to know when attacks are coming. Also, at least, even not being the one to handle all, but you should be fully aware. So that has helped us a lot. And being part of ProGenesis Business School has helped us understand how to operate in the business sphere, because it's one thing to be a technical guy and it's another different thing to be a business person. So I think being under the umbrella of ProGenesis Business School, having learned a lot under our mentor, Mr. Helady Haruna, I think we're able to understand a lot that has to do with business, how to understand the mindset, because everything has to come from the mind. So it helps us understand there is more to what we can do, and there's more to what we can actually give out as a person and as a company. So it helps us a lot to connect with a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders, and that has been one of the best experiences because we understood how to manage money better. We're not just building code, we're building things that really matter. So ProGenesis Business School has been helpful to me as a person. Then I think I'm privileged to have taken trainings on cybersecurity. Yes, I have taken training. I'm about to take another training for psychopants, they call them. So they already registered me on that one to be the tutor. I gave a talk on digital economy and how the government can protect that. But I did a talk on CSAN recently, and I have the privilege to have spoken on AIT and some of these TV stations, Trust TV, Daily Trust, to talk about blockchain and the impact in our current economy and the global economy. So I spoke a lot about that, and I do talk about it a lot again, about blockchain and its impact. One of my goals is to see how, not just to build a company, but let me be a source where a lot of Nigerians will pick inspiration to build the next big companies. That it's not all about me alone, I think, but we've come together and we're able to inspire the younger generations too. I'm still young, still getting inspiration from people at the top, and I still see myself passing down those knowledge. So I try to see how to be available to take trainings. I do a lot of trainings for different groups. Some are on WhatsApp, some will call me on Telegram. So I try my best to see, okay, the little I have known, how will I be able to pass it across to the younger ones, and at least I believe my story will be inspiring for them to also do the next big stuff. Despite we say Nigeria is challenging and we are at a disadvantage, I just felt we can still change the narrative. We can still put in our best. We can put in our effort. And the little we have, I feel we can still. Nigerians are very hardworking. So if we know how to channel the hard work to the right things, I feel we are going to get the best results. So myself and my team we're trying to see how we can help solve the issue of payments, and see how we can also teach the younger generations, teach people about the blockchain, teach people about the business. I do have this program that is Blockchain for All. I was able to invite a lot of speakers from different fields to talk about the current trends in technology, and it's something you can also watch online. So we try to do that as much of as we can, so that we'll see how we can bring people with different perspectives, people that have built one thing or the other in Nigeria here and it's working, for Nigerians to be able to see this is not let's say film trick or something. No, we have people in this country that are still doing things. It's just a matter of time. We'll have good leadership, everything is going to come out, and we'll see the kind of genius we have. So Blockchain for All is one of the programs I'm hosting, and I ensure that we do a lot of training through that channel also. So a lot, I think I'm just at a point, I would say 50% of what I'm yet to still achieve. Maybe I'm not even up to 50%. So hopefully I should have another episode in a couple of years, hopefully, because I know I would have achieved a lot. But my basic point of doing this story is for us to understand that whatsoever we are seeing today, there was a process. So whosoever you are looking up to, don't just look at the things that pleases you. Don't look at the things that are just shining. There is a story behind every glory. So we should always try to not be in a haste. A lot of youth now just make money very quickly. A lot of youth want to achieve success overnight, and because they are seeing other people as in being flamboyant, spending money, doing that. But you have to understand, a lot of them also went through processes that, if not for this platform, I wouldn't have been able to maybe pass this message to you viewers now. But this is just giving me an opportunity to tell you that, okay, whatsoever I've been able to achieve within this short period of time, I also had a rough process that actually shaped me. And everything has to do with, one, you have to be a seeker of knowledge. You have to be a seeker of knowledge. You don't get to a point to say you are satisfied, you are okay, you can do it on your own. No, you have to work with credible relationship, build credible relationship with people, be credible, be competent, and build good character. Those are key things that will help you succeed in life. So I see some challenges as stepping stone, because when you are able to go through them, it helps you become a better person. It helps you become a smarter person at the end of the day. So it's not all about getting the rewards just today, but build something that will last over a period of time. So I believe my story is just starting, because I have a long way. I do have a long way, and I know this little I've shared is going to inspire you viewers, and tomorrow we are going to be a better person for Nigeria. We're going to be better people for the country, and hopefully my story is not going to end here. So thank you.